Supreme Court today delivered judgment in the Rivers matter, and it's made some very far-reaching statements on the case before it. President Bola Tinubu signed into law the 2025 appropriation bill into law. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale here in Abuja. So much that we need to touch on, especially a lot of the issues burden on the state of the nation. But if you're not careful, it's going to be difficult for you to keep pace with some of the issues. Is it the ones in the National Assembly and all of the controversies that are from personal to official issues in the National Assembly, to what is happening in Rivers State from the Supreme Court and all of the reactions that we are getting. But tonight, our focus is going to be perhaps on the biggest story of today, and that's the Supreme Court judgment on Rivers State. And we'll be bringing you all the angles as you need to know and how it affects the governance in that state. But let's tell you that President Bola Tinubu today has signed into law the 54.99 trillion 2025 appropriation bill. The 2025 budget is about 99.996% higher than the 2024 appropriation bill of 27.5 trillion. In terms of that figure, President Tinubu signed the bill into law today in his office at the State House in Abuja. The bill was increased from the initial figure of 49.7 trillion as initially presented by the executive arm of government, as presented by the president to the joint session of the National Assembly. The bill was signed in the presence of members of the executive and some key members of the National Assembly. This is what the president said after he had signed it into law.
We can see signs of progress. Our national GDP growth rebounded to 3.86% compared to the last quarter. Revenue increased to 21.6 trillion. Naira rebounded, reflecting our resilience. We have reduced deficit significantly from 6.2 in 2003 to 4.17%. Forest reform is working the foreign exchange. The minimum wage was raised and we are meeting all obligations.
When you came to the National Assembly with a very ambitious budget of 49.7 trillion, little did we know that working with your team, we'll find a way to discover other sources of bringing revenue in. And today, you're about to make history by signing the largest budget ever done in the history of Nigeria since independence, 54.7 trillion. So I want to say congratulations, sir. We on this side of the aisle, we believe strongly that anything that can bring about and alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians, any policy that you propose that can alleviate the suffering of Nigerians, be rest assured of the support of the National Assembly, both chambers. We will go with you. We are behind you. We will go with you because we know that you mean well for this country.
All right, you heard him there. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, earlier was the President Bola Tinubu, giving details of what he thinks himself and the team have done in terms of improving the economy, and he's reeled out some statistics in that regard. We will bite, we will chew, and we will dissect for you tonight the Rivers State matter as the Supreme Court ruled on it. Where does this leave the sinful Bara government and the people of Rivers State after that judgment? But first, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
The Lagos High Court sitting in Ikeja has ordered that all members of the Lagos House of Assembly be joined as parties in the suit filed by the disputed Speaker, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. Justice Yetunde Pinheiro gave this order after hearing two applications filed by some members of the House seeking to be joined in the proceedings. At the proceedings, Senior Advocates of Nigeria, Tayo Oyetibo led Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Bimbo Akeredolu, and other lawyers to represent the Speaker, Honorable Mojisola Miranda. The court therefore adjourned till March the 7th to hear all pending applications in the matter. Meanwhile, the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojisola Miranda, has faulted the action of her predecessor, Mudashiru Obasa, who showed up at the Assembly on Thursday, insisting he's still the Speaker. She spoke to journalists at the Lagos State High Court where Obasa had filed an application challenging his removal.
Well, I think he's still a member of the House of Assembly, so he has every right to come, but invasion and breaking into my office, that is really a big one. As you can see, I have my people here with me, and God is with me.
Justice Chinyere Umwechono of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Kuje, Abuja, has granted bail to the former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Professor Usman Yusuf, in the sum of 5 million naira with two sureties. While delivering the bail terms, Justice Umwechono stated that the two sureties must provide proof of means of livelihood, whether business or civil service, as well as valid identification, and their addresses are to be verified by the prosecution or court staff. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned the former governor of Abia State, Theodore Orji, and 4 others at the Abia State High Court for allegedly misappropriating about 47 billion naira. They were all arraigned before the Chief Judge, Justice Lillian Abai, on the 16-count charge bordering on conspiracy to steal and convert billions of naira meant for various government programs. In her ruling, Justice Abai granted the defendants bail before adjourning till June the 18th and 19th, 2025 for trial. The Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room is calling on journalists to hold the election umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and politicians more accountable to ensure credible electoral processes in the country. The convener of the Situation Room, Mr. Yunusa Yao, made the call during an advocacy meeting with the leadership of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Abuja. A civil society organization under the aegis of Kimpact Development Initiative is calling on the judiciary to resist executive interference in politically motivated cases and ensure expedited hearings for human rights cases. Speaking at a multi-stakeholder meeting in Abuja, the head of research and strategy, Mr. Oluwafemi Adebayo, says judges and legal practitioners should interpret restrictive laws in a manner that upholds constitutional protections, setting legal precedents that favor civic freedoms.
All right, let's get to Rivers State matter now. And I'll take you straight to the premises of the Supreme Court and show you some pictures of what happened earlier today. So the Supreme Court today gave a judgment. In that judgment, the Supreme Court barred the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Accountant General of the Federation, and other agencies from releasing funds to the government of Rivers State until it purges itself of what the court described as flagrant disobedience of court orders. In that judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Akomaye, the 5-man panel of the court unanimously dismissed the cross-appeal filed by Governor Simla Fubara, challenging the validity of the House of Assembly presided over Martin Amawele as the Speaker. In dismissing Governor Fubara's appeal, the court ordered Martin Amawele to resume sitting immediately with other elected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The court held that it is an aberration for Governor Fubara to have purportedly presented an appropriation bill before a 4-man House of Assembly, thereby denying 28 constituency of effective representation in vagrant violation of a court order mandating the governor to represent the 2024 appropriation bill before a validly constituted assembly led by Amaule. The Epelle court did not stop there. He went further to say that the local government elections conducted on the 5th of October 2024 by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission is invalid. Outside of the court premises today, it was only one of the lawyers, perhaps, who got the cameras caught and able to speak to the judgment. Take a listen to him.
First of all, I think one need to commend the Supreme Court, the highest court in this judgment, for enthroning judicial authority, for also enthroning constitutional order in this country, not only in Rivers State, but in the whole country. Enthroning the rule of law over and above the rule of man, executive recklessness, and impunity. What we have seen here today is the judgment of this honorable court confirming the judgment of Justice Omotosho, the judgment of Justice Lifu, and also the judgment of Malik of Federal High Court, Justice Malik of Federal High Court.
All right, then, that's a lawyer caught on tape earlier, apparently on the side, the weakest side of the divide in this matter, on the side of the Amaule members of the House of Assembly in Rivers State. But then, there are now reactions we're getting from Rivers State. Of course, jubilation in the camp of Mr. Wike and the Minister of FCT. So, the Commissioner for Information, in Rivers State has been responding and reacting to the Supreme Court judgment. And this is what he has to say on behalf of the Rivers State government.
We have taken note of reports in the media regarding the recent judgment of the Supreme Court concerning the funds of Rivers State and the administration of local government in the state. At this time, we are waiting a detailed briefing on the implications of the judgment. We will carefully evaluate the situation, determine the next steps to take in the best interest of Rivers State and its people. Though we have not gotten the details of the judgment from our legal team, we enjoin Rivers people to remain calm, law-abiding, and go about our legitimate businesses as we seek clarity on the judgment. We believe that the determination of the main issue of defection of the 27 lawmakers is a matter not before the Supreme Court, as it is pending at the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt. Since the issue of defection wasn't on the table before the learned justices, in their eyes, Amehule and the 26 others are still operating as lawmakers until that matter of defection comes before them. We assure you that we remain committed to upholding our mandate to protect the best interests and the rule of law in matters affecting our dear state.
In Rivers State, still staying there, you will find Mr. Amaule, the speaker whom the Supreme Court says can now sit and start spearheading the affairs of the Rivers State House of Assembly. They met, as much as we know, today, and the court also touched on what happened to the complex of the House of Assembly in Rivers State. Let me allow you to have a feel of what happened today as Mr. Martins Amaule led charge today in Rivers State House of Assembly.
We still thank the Supreme Court for saving this country the malfeasance of the governor and all those advising him to abandon our laws and the constitution of this country. it's important that we draw their attention. We will draw their attention, and we're drawing the attention of security agencies to ensure that all property of all 23 local governments are intact. Now that the Supreme Court has drawn the governor's attention to his malfeasance, we believe that the governor will take heed and begin to do the right things in line with our constitution. We believe that the governor will repent of his sins and turn a new leaf.
That's Mr. Martins, Honorable Martins Amawule. Well, in Abuja here, the FCT minister and his friends and supporters gathered at his residence where he's been reacting to the judgment. We understand that there was a praise and worship session that was held earlier before former Governor Nyesom Wike addressed the media. Let me allow you to have a feel of what he said at that press conference.
Yeah, I've always said that the will of justice is sluggish, but it will come when it will come. More than 50 months, 60 months, this matter has been laid to rest by the highest court of the land. The only thing that can happen now is for anybody to appeal to God. If there's an opportunity for you to appeal to God, Supreme Court has made it very clear that you cannot have a democracy without a legislature. The Supreme Court has made it clear, cannot sit as a government without the legislature. It is unheard of where anybody will say 3 people will constitute an assembly to make laws for the entire state. We must commend the judiciary for being bold, for being fair, to say no, this should not be allowed. This impunity must not be allowed. I've told people that River State is not like any other state. We are not prisoners of war. We are not conquered. We must challenge anything we know that is illegal. We will not allow it.
Mr. Nyesom Wike, FCT Minister and former Governor of Rivers State. So let's dissect these issues. Let's get some reactions now. I have joining me, well, if you call him an elder statesman in Rivers State, you may not be wrong. He is a concerned Rivers citizen and the convener of Rivers Spark, Mr. Jack Epelle. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Shenwu. Thank you for having me. I'm the host of Hidden Sparks.
Hidden Sparks.
Hidden Sparks has nothing to do with Rivers. It's not political.
Sorry. I thought it's a Rivers.
No.
So it's not Rivers Sparks.
No.
Because there's a lot of spark in Rivers.
No.
So I thought that's what it's all about.
I just look at people like you, people like Chidi. What are the things that they've been able to overcome? It's simply everyday people igniting change.
I guess we'll talk about that some other time, but we are here because of Rivers.
And do I say that you are one of those who encouraged me to start that?
Which is good.
Yeah.
Chief Dr. Honorable Chidi Llyod is here. That's jokingly how I refer to him, a former LG chairman in Rivers State and a lawyer. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thanks, Shaun, for having me. Thank you.
Interesting times indeed in your state, Rivers State. But let me begin with you, Mr. Epelle. How did you receive the Rivers State, the judgment from the Supreme Court on Rivers State today?
I mean, come on. It has happened. It has happened. The law must take its course. My concern is that, one, FUBARA will obey the rule of law to the latter. Two is to see the final judgment from the Supreme Court, because now there are interpretations and counter-interpretations. We want to see what is the final judgment. Thirdly, the people of Rivers State, please hear me. This is not the time to throw fire in the works. This is not the time to destroy things. This is not the time to demonstrate unnecessarily. These are two brothers who are one way or the other, disagreeing amongst themselves. We need to toe the line of peace. Fourthly, Shehu, I am concerned in the fact that this Supreme Court, which is the highest body, they deserve the right to give whatever judgment that they deem necessary. Nobody's going to question that. I'm not going to question that. However, my concern is the withdrawal of asking the state not to receive her allocation. When will that end? Is there a term limit? That's what I don't know. I am concerned that the common man that would benefit from that are going to suffer. And that's the saying oftentimes that when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. We need to quickly, as a matter of urgency, deal with those issues so that they can reinstate that allocation. How they want to administer it is what Epelle doesn't know. But one thing I know for sure, the people will suffer. And my brother here will agree with me, Chidi. We don't want any Rivers person to go through hardship because political bigwigs are fighting. And that's my genuine concern. Whatever we need to do to address these differences needs to happen and happen fast. Now, finally, there are some aspects. Chidi is a lawyer, you are a lawyer. There's some aspect of this judgment that is being twisted in the public opinion. Did this judgment reinstate or say that the lawmakers that defected have been reinstated and then they're no longer defected lawmakers? I want to know. I'm not a lawyer.
I think there's a substantive matter before the Court of Appeal.
Exactly.
In that respect.
Exactly.
But, hoping that. But there are also consequential effects of the pronouncement of the Supreme Court today. Yeah. The enroll order will give us, the full judgment, signed copy by the registrar of the Supreme Court will give us an understanding of what those interpretations are.
Yeah. Let me make my last point. My last point is that there were local government chairmen, like which my brother was one of them, that finished their tenure. All right. Is this judgment saying that somebody like Chidi has been reinstated? I don't think so, in my own opinion. But these are facts that we need to interrogate, and whatever happens, let there be peace. My state has suffered a lot. The bickering, the tearing apart and all that, it's too much for the people. I think now we will begin to heal. And I will close with what Gowan said. No victor, no vanquish. And I think we need to toe that line. Chidi will agree with me here that we have one state, not two. We are all Rivers people. There's no difference. So whatever happened, let them mend faces and ensure that peace will reign. You are listening to me now. You're a young person from Rivers State, a youth. No matter what you're doing, this is not the time to create anarchy. Please, do not, I repeat, do anything contrary that will create problem in the state. We need to do that. We are a peaceful citizen. We have been hospitable. We are people that everybody knows that we will not do anything contrary to what is legally, what is legal. So don't allow either Fubara camp to tell you to do what is wrong. Don't allow Wike's camp to tell you to do what is wrong. That's my position.
Let me get your own interpretation of today's, the outcome of Supreme Court judgment today.
Well, Shehu, thanks for having me. And I'm very happy to hear from my uncle Jake here, whom I think from his introductory speech, he's a regenerated Rivers man now, as it were. Because I've had to listen to Jake's previous interviews. If he sounded this way ab initio, we probably would not be where we are today. But we have to be very careful. The issues are clear. The Supreme Court decision today, the judgment of the Supreme Court today was unequivocal. And I have the privilege, from your snapshots, you could see that I was in the court from the beginning to the end of the issue. Now, all of the issues that arose in Rivers State that led to the dispute have been put to rest. The Supreme Court said today that the rightful assembly is the one led by the Right Honorable Martins Chike Amehule. It was that clear. And the Supreme Court said it is not heard of that a state governor will disregard the constitution that he swore to uphold by attempting to govern the state with 12.5% of the legislature. The Rivers State House of Assembly, which I probably was a member for 12 years back to back, we have it's a 32-member house. Incidentally, the 10th Assembly, they lost a member. Then they remained a 31-member house as at now. 27 are on one side, 3 are on one side, and you pass. In fact, using the words of Justice, the Honorable Justice Akomaye again, I say it's like recalling what the Court of Appeal had said. It was a joke taken too far. This was a blatant disregard for the Constitution. And I heard my uncle Jake here say that we have to be careful the things we do. I agree with him, because we must be very careful the people will entrust our leadership to. And that is why the Bible is clear. The Bible is very clear.
Pastor Chidi.
Yes, you must be careful. You suffer not a witch to live.
I wonder who the witch is.
Be careful those you give the children's food to. You recall the encounter between the Ethiopian eunuch and Philip. He said, "Understandest thou what thou readest?" And of course, the Ethiopian eunuch said, "How can I understand without being explained to?" And Philip explained, and thereafter he chose to be baptized. Politics is not an all-comers game. We must be careful. Part of the problem we have in this country is that democracy throws up all kinds of people to you. Because we won't be where we are. Common sense would mean that you cannot. The governor is from Opobo, the deputy speaker now, his deputy speaker is from Opobo. There are one other fellow there in that they are gathering, is the majority leader, then that's the house. Then what they do every day that they want to sit is to open the doors and call people from the streets, especially former members of the house, to sit down. And we have the likes of Epelle here, who ordinarily would have sought audience with the governor and said, this is not the way to go. But unfortunately, we have elders in Rivers State who chose to lead the governor to where he attended. Imagine a state where the Supreme Court said today that there is no governance in Rivers State. And as a Rivers man, I felt sad. I felt sad. And today, he's talking about the suffering of the people. No, the people will not suffer. As long as the Supreme Court said, if this doesn't happen, let this happen. Which is more important, the desecration of the Constitution or payment of salary? One thing led to the other. So we must look at it that way. If the governor goes today and purge himself, just like quoting the Supreme Court, purge himself of all of the atrocities, right? Of course, monies will be released to him. But you cannot. Look, the Americans will forgive you for murder, not for financial crimes. You cannot. Something as big as appropriation bill you take to 3 people. And they have said, the Federal High Court by Justice Omotosho first said, no, you have no budget. And delivered the judgment sometime in January of 2024. They appealed. The Court of Appeal upheld the judgment of Justice Omotosho. And the Court of Appeal, Okon Abang, in his own words, said this was the joke taken too far. In order to protect your office, you moving into another arm of government with earth-moving equipment to demolish a whole House of Assembly. And nobody is talking about that. So today people are saying, oh, the Supreme Court, you have said that they shouldn't release money. Why would they? Something led to all of the other states that have budget, that the Supreme Court said they shouldn't give them money. So I like to associate myself with the sentiments expressed by my uncle here to say that let them move now. He's talking to them. He knows, because the reason why my uncle is appealing is because that it's a trend that the governor of Rivers State does not respect decisions of court.
No, I don't agree with you.
I didn't say when he was. Uncle, just wait 1 second. When I'm done.
Okay.
So there is this penchant for continued disregard for decisions of court. That's why probably he's appealing. I like to use the word probably. He's pleading with him to please obey the Supreme Court judgment. The Supreme Court judgment is enforceable in any part of the federation. So we don't need to appeal to an individual to
Gentlemen,
let
me do
and the aspect of the local government, he talked about the local. There's something he talked about whether the likes of Llyod will be reinstated. The Supreme Court has decided that. In the Attorney General of the Federation against the Attorney General of the 32 states, where he said, in the event that the president of a federation can extend the tenure of a president, the House of Assembly can also extend the tenure of democratically elected chairman. Pursuant to that, the State Assembly, led by Right Honorable Martin Chike Abehule, extended the tenure when it was discovered that the governor was not prepared to conduct the election. And that was one of the reasons why the Supreme Court nullified.
But in the eye of the law, there was no Amawule.
No. Which law are you talking about? We moved from the court of the Federal High Court affirmed the speakership of Amehule. The Court of Appeal affirmed. The Supreme Court today affirmed and said, take the budget back to them. Would the Supreme Court have said, take the budget back to Amehule if they didn't recognize him as speaker? So all of these shenanigans, especially the one that my uncle here has referred to, was a press statement released by the spokesperson of the Rivers State government.
No.
Ugo Chinyere, there's one fellow with one red cap and something on top of it. Ugo Chinyere released a press statement.
No, Chief.
And now interpreting to the governor of the...
So the problem here... I'll come to you.
I'm telling you,
he mentioned something. What the Supreme Court... Just a moment, so that we don't misinform the public. What the Supreme Court did not say today was whether or not all the local government chairmen before the election were reinstated. The Supreme Court ruled that the election of October 15 is invalid.
Good. Now let me tell you, the Supreme Court will not, because if the Supreme Court begins to say everything, by now we wouldn't have left that court. There was a decision of the Supreme Court in the case of Attorney General of the Federation against the Attorney General of the 32 states of the 36 states, right? Wherein, among all the other things that were canvassed, the Supreme Court did say that the state assemblies, like the National Assembly, can indeed extend the tenure of democratically elected chairmen. Now, in Rivers State, until the expiration of our tenure, who were the Democrats?
I'm still hoping that we will get the judgment, the printed version of and signed copies of the judgment, because
of today's judgment.
Because you heard the judgment as it was read in court, but the judgment as I listened to never said categorically that it should be resolved.
No, I'm telling you,
other interpretation.
I'm telling you,
I understand you are making inference from a former judgment of court.
No.
Because I don't want our court, and I don't want a confusion in Rivers State based on what you are pronouncing, and you are not the court.
Let me tell you, there was a dispute between Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu and the Lagos State government, right? Now, the Odumegwu Ojukwu in that case dragged the Lagos State government to court for resort to self-help, right? I, Chidi Julius Llyod, also, quote, relied on that judgment by the Supreme Court to enforce my fundamental right when I had issues with the state government sometime in 2013. That is the whole gamut. Excuse me, sir. That is the whole gamut of case law. Now, the Supreme Court has said so, has decided that state assemblies have a right to extend tenure. Now, the Supreme Court today has laid to rest the issue of whether or not Amehule and his colleagues have lost their seat. The Supreme Court said no.
So you're relying on the precedents?
Absolutely. So just pursuant to that,
apologies.
All of the laws made by Martin Amehule are effective.
For the sake of not to allow misinformation, I want also be able to lay the facts right and be able to. I mean, he said a few things which I know you are itching to respond to.
Yeah, I wanted to just put paid to some of the things. You want me to do that right now? First, Chidi, I respect you.
Absolutely.
And I thank you for referring me as uncle. I'm older than you.
I have enormous respect for you.
There's no doubt about that. But listen, check all my interviews. I have never completely or outrightly abused anybody. No.
No, you forgot. There was one not on this channel. There was one not on this channel. Uncle, let me remind you. There was one not on this channel, but on AIT.
Yeah.
I was speaking.
Oh, you and I.
Yeah. I was writing to
I just said, and I'm saying it again. I just said that.
Okay, that's why I said a regenerated uncle.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't say that.
No.
This is my regenerated uncle.
I'm not changing who I am.
Okay.
No, I'm not. And I will never. Chidi, what you don't know about me, I'm a human rights defender for 2 big countries. I won't talk about that. Okay, I won't talk about that. So there are certain things I said that I must stand for. Yeah. Number one, there's something that you don't know. I'm going to say it for the first time on TV. You see, Nyesom Wike was the Minister for Education that signed the first policy that I did. And it's the first policy in the whole world. I don't have anything against him. There are times I also criticize Fubara. By the way, for the interest of conflict of interest.
No,
let me now. Let me land now. Let me land now.
I do not like him to be dragged in.
No. Hold on. I'm praising him for what he did.
Okay.
You understand? And I've not changed that position.
I will allow. I will allow.
I've not changed that position. You understand? The way I was raised, I don't go out of my way to abuse people. It's not going to happen. I don't care who. All right? Go down in history. I cannot say to anybody I benefited anything from Fubara. I am from Opobo. For the sake of conflict of interest. We're from the same place.
You and Governor Fubara?
Yes, we're from the same place. Have I met him before? Yes. I met him and told him clearly my position. And the fact that in this matter, I will remain objective. However, Chidi, my brother, truly, maybe you're here today. Let's work together to ensure that the state does not burn. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
That's why
let's work together.
That's why we chose to take the issues to court.
Fantastic.
And not resort to self-help.
Fantastic. My brother, tone down the rhetorics. It's not necessary. We would destroy and burn the state. Tone down the rhetorics. I was completely dissatisfied with what the speaker said. I'm completely you can't call out somebody that kind of name, and that's a sitting governor. That's disrespectful. You understand?
No, that's within the chambers of the House of
No, it doesn't matter where.
It
doesn't matter where Chidi. Come on, you have treated me with enormous respect on this program, and I will. You're somebody that I have always liked. You understand? And I express myself even when I didn't even know which camp you are. You understand?
But you know he's a weakest man.
Somehow, yes, eventually, you understand? Mm-hmm. So I'm not here, I'm not a chameleon. No. Never. I will not come here and change overnight. But as an elder statesman, my job is to make sure that there is peace. What was my opening statement? My opening statement is that Fubara must obey the law. He has no business, and I don't think he's like that. I think many people don't know Fubara. Mm-hmm. Many people don't know Fubara. Forget about all the things that happen. If you ask that guy tomorrow to throw in the towel, he will. That's the kind of person he is. Many people don't know him. You understand? I had a 1 hour, 10 minutes meeting with him, and I left respecting him. I'll tell you what. Number one, I told him, because I don't run around politicians. My friend, you want me to come and see you? Yes, sir. Give me time. He said 11 o'clock. I told him, I said, if I come there by 11 and you are not, I will go. He said, he calls me brother. He said, come. 11:45, Fubara received me. By 11:05, we were talking. I left at about 12. You understand? You remember on this show, I had made effort to say, if Wike will see me, I will see him.
But you have always canvassed support for Fubara in the sense that you had always thought that whatever Nyesom Wike is doing politically in Rivers State was wrong and was harmful to
I will tell you my reason. I will tell you my reason. If Wike were in the position of Fubara, I would do the same thing. Jake Epelle, I would do the same thing. My reason is, this is our sitting governor. Let him govern. Allow him. He's your boy. He makes mistake. You know, there's no way we will destroy the governance structure of the state. There's no way. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't matter who.
So you're of the opinion that whatever went on between Minister Wike and Governor Fubara has some implication on the governance of the state.
Of course.
And you imagine in your mind that it's a political distraction.
Yes,
as far as
it's a total social, political, economic distraction for my state. It is. Has governance been effective since all this time? There's no.
How then do you describe the manner in which Governor Wike has handled things?
Some of the things he has done, I can say it here. If he's here in this studio, I'll say he didn't do it well. He did not handle it well. Let me also tell you something that...
That's the moment. That's the moment.
No, you didn't. I allowed you. You know, Chidi, can you remember this thing that we are accusing Fubara of 4 people? Can you remember that there was a time that Wike had to deal with 7 people?
I can't remember that.
No, you wouldn't.
No. You see, that's why you just fell into a trap set for you by Shehu. You say at the time you were canvassing for that. That's exactly what you're doing.
I never said.
So let me say this.
No, I had sentimentally attached to good governance.
Let me say
and I was doing it to the governor of
just a moment. Let me allow.
Let me say this. I try to interject. Because the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory is not a subject matter for discussion.
This matter that went to court has political underpinnings.
No.
Except if you want to deceive ourselves.
No, except you are discussing the political underpinnings.
Yeah, I'm saying it does.
An appeal that was made by the Supreme Court.
When you are discussing the legality,
was between
especially on
the Rivers State House of Assembly and 9 others.
Which is a political institution.
No, those are the parties to the suit that we are discussing today. So, you know, most times I hate for us to begin to drag the minister.
No, but you mentioned the governor.
The governor is a party to the suit. That's why I said, if you avail me, once the certified true copy of the judgment comes, I will personally hand to you so that you look at it and probably will have a more robust discussion. So, the Minister of FCT is not a party to any of those suits. But again, he talked about good governance, that he should allow Fubara to govern. No. Fubara must govern according to the dictates of the Constitution, which is our ground norm. It doesn't matter who wears his skirt anyhow. You get the point? Look, if he had, for example, the one of the Lord Justices, Noble Lords, today said, you cannot set laws for yourself and not obey them. And he made reference to a situation where other arms of government will not allow the other arms to breathe. So the legislature in Rivers State should breathe. A situation, your people covered it, the governor, with due respect, brazenly goes into the complex where assembly people live with a view to demolishing the place. And we are not quick to look, but I want to, like, again, align myself with the sentiments he has expressed. We are now towing the side of peace. And I'm happy that he has told those who have a penchant, some incurable recidivists, who have a penchant for not obeying court orders, to please that this is the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Gentlemen, let's take a moment to go on a break. We'll go on a break, everyone. But when we return, there are more dynamics to what happened today, or the outcome of to the Supreme Court sitting today. But what does this mean? CBN, Attorney General, Accountant General, do not give money to Rivers State in respect of the local government election that were conducted, meaning that the Supreme Court is blind to the election and its outcome of October 15 in Rivers State. It means that it's invalid. What does this mean? Would there be an election? Would the likes of Llyod go back to their offices? Also, what does this mean when the court says that whatever has happened in time past under without the consent of Martins Amawule is also invalid? What does this leave the governance in the state? Will all of the bills now be represented to Martins Amawule? A complex situation and a very tough chew. We'll be right back to discuss this. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. Honorable Llyod, as a former member of the Rivers State House of Assembly, former member, former chairman of local government in Rivers State, and a lawyer, Mr. Jack Epelle is a right activist, a concerned River citizen, and the convener and a host of Hidden Sparks. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for staying with us on the program. So the consequential effect of this, the judgment of today and how it will affect the governance in Rivers. Before we go in there, the issue of the politics, I mean, it's obvious and clear, even to the deaf, that what happened is between the political disagreement between Mr. Wike and Mr. Fubara. The question is, how can that be resolved? Because it does look like there is a victory on the camp of Mr. Wike. Is this going to strengthen Wike against Fubara, or where do you think this is going? Let me begin with you, Mr. Epelle.
Well, a bit of Wike that I know. Forget about all the strengths and all the vigor that he displays. I think there's also a spot in his heart that is soft. I think, Shehu, reconciliation should start. Reconciliation should start. And Wike should give room for that to happen. I want to believe that Fubara will take advantage of that, because the state has suffered too much, you know. And I was talking to Chidi, my friend here, and Chidi, I really, really commend you, the kind of respect you have shown me on a national television. I am very grateful for that. However, Chidi, you and I have a job. We do have a job, because we need to ensure, and call me anytime, we need to ensure that this mess will be put to a stop. What are the terms? What is it that will make this thing happen? I think also, Shehu, if really we want to resolve this thing, there are two people involved. There has to be a time that Wike and Fubara will be in one room and talk to each other. Whoever wants to cry, let him cry. You understand? Because think about this. The state is bigger than Wike. The state is bigger than Fubara. The state is bigger than Jake. Is bigger than Chidi. The state needs to survive. Not even survive, but thrive. The political implications are enormous. They're enormous. By the time the fireworks will start, interpretation upon, and there's a whole lot of misinformation that is out there, you know, on both camps. You know, there are a lot of miscommunication, and it shouldn't be. You know, Chidi, sometimes I feel like crying. This is not the state. This is not the state that I know. Why did we get to this point? Why did we allow this to get to this point? It's very disheartening. I have always known Rivers people to be people that are civilized, people that are accommodating each other, people that can stand for each other. It's
getting you emotional.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why we allow this to get to this point. We are rubbishing ourselves. This is not the Rivers State that I know.
Mr. Chidi, the same question I asked Mr. Pele. Do you think this will fuel the more political fire between these two men?
No, it wouldn't. I am honestly touched by the emotional display by my uncle here. But I want to assure him that what God cannot do does not exist. thank God for the decision of the Supreme Court today. It will ordinarily, for anybody who wants peace, like the Bible enjoins us to do, blessed are the peacemakers. There's a price for it. What it will automatically mean is that all parties must do what the Supreme Court has said. I listened to the, I wouldn't want to refer to him as commissioner. I listened to the fellow from Rivers State who spoke, because from the Supreme Court decision today, he's no longer, he wasn't commissioner. No, no.
Please.
We are talking.
Me and you have agreed.
You say,
tone down the rhetoric.
No, tone down the rhetoric does not include me lying now. He's not.
No, he's still the he was appointed, sworn in by this.
You see, there is no such judgment in law. I know. So the fellow who spoke on the side of the government of Rivers State, okay, that's a better way to put it. The fellow who spoke on the side of the government of Rivers State has said that they would wait for their lawyers to bring the judgment, then they will know. He has set the tune for reconciliation. Uncle Jake's opening remarks is that, behold, everybody must do as the Supreme Court
I stand by that.
Said.
Anytime.
So let us wait. Unfortunately, there are lots of analysis going on.
Exactly.
Just like the statement released by the consultant, Ugo Chinyere, today, in a press release, that what the Supreme Court has said does not reinstate Martin Amewule, and that the matter is still at the Federal High Court. You know, all of these gimmicks, like the Supreme Court referred to it today, those styles are anachronistic. They no longer hold sway. All of the issues about the political debacle in Rivers State have been laid to rest today. Anybody who goes to resurrect any other case may be abusing court process and so on and so forth. But I do know that the Constitution says that the judgments of court are enforceable in every part of it.
So the question I was asking you is, you will see the energy and the political, don't let me say tantrums, and the political gymnastics that we have seen in Rivers State. Now, you see the victory dance and songs of praise on the camp of Mr. Wike in his house. And there are those who are afraid that with what was before now, this might perhaps give some fuel to the energy in going after Fubara politically.
No, the reason why it wouldn't, you know this thing about court, you win today, you lose tomorrow. The Fubara's camp have also danced and thanked God. So you will not deny the Wike camp today from dancing and thanking God. And again, the Bible, which is the book that I respect the most, says, come to me, I will enter his gate with thanksgiving. He didn't say come with anything. He said, come to my gate with thanksgiving. And as those who fear God, as soon as the judgment was delivered, we went to the gate with thanksgiving.
So Wike camp are the camp that fear God?
Absolutely. We have respect. That's why you see, what was the first thing we did? Was to go to the Most High and thank him for restoring peace in Rivers State. In Botswana, to the dictates of my uncle here, Epelle, who preaches peace. And that is the thing. They say, pursue peace. The Bible enjoins us to pursue peace.
But there is an hanging matter, though. There is still before the Court of Appeal the substantive case of whether or not, when lawmakers move from one political party, they can still retain their seat.
I had the privilege of sitting in court today. I say all of that will have been rested. If there are any other matters that exist in the court, you hear what the justices.
No, but from what I heard, just a moment. From what I heard,
I say you will hear what the justices will do if there is any matter that the Supreme Court has taken a decision, because you know all of the things that there were over 2,000 cases emanating from the Rivers State government, all on the same subject matter. You know, because they sought to delay the process of. But
the Court of Appeal matter in the Court of Appeal matter on the defection of Amawule and co. have not been decided.
The Court of Appeal also upheld the membership and speakership of Martin Amawule when it said that the budget should be brought back and presented.
How do you juxtapose, Honorable Llyod? You're a lawyer.
Yes.
The Abegunde matter.
The Supreme Court dwelt on it today and said that the Supreme Court does not base on hearsay. The way you say a man has lost his seat is to be able to show the court proof. The register of the party the man has gone to and his party card. I am a football enthusiast. I go to the football field, I go to the match, and I hold the flag of Cameroon. Those days, I used to like Ghana, Odaptilanti, Ayikoyama, and others when they play. I raise the Ghanaian flag. Does that make me a Ghanaian? And I say to people, there is no sentiment, there is no morality.
We are totally out of time, gentlemen. But let me allow
It's not
that matter is still before that. I don't know how that will
all of those issues have been decided. Anybody that feels aggrieved,
Mr. Epelle,
well, let me say this, Chidi. First of all, if we continue in this trajectory of peacefully coexisting, ensuring that we speak on behalf of our state.
No, you and I have taken it upon ourselves to make
we will. However, I say it again, and I said it at the beginning of the program, every party must obey the Supreme Court decision.
All right,
there's no doubt about that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Epelle, thank you for coming. Honorable Chidilord, thank you for coming. That's our show for tonight. More drama may be coming in the coming day. I'll see you on Sunday, God willing, at 8 p.m. God bless Nigeria.